my boss is kind of tough sometimes. And one day he was talking to me about something, and I kind of understood what he was saying. But after he left, a coworker came to me and said, "Did you hear the way he spoke to you?" You know, and you know, she was offended. Maybe she was offended on my behalf. But actually, it was interesting because actually I wasn't offended. And I wasn't offended because I tried to understand through the eyes of God, through the heart of God, like, oh, he's young, he's learning, he's my boss, but also he's my younger brother. And if I can have that kind of heart, then you can digest difficulty along the way. The reason we fight and get so upset is because we're so ego-bound, or we're just, you know, seeing it through our own eyes or through our own heart and not getting the bigger picture. So this is the beauty of having God, our Heavenly Parent, in our lives. You know, people say, you know, why go to church? Why make effort, you know, with a life of faith? But this is why we make an effort with a life of faith, because actually we gain so much from that. We gain so much from the relationship with our Heavenly Parent because it enhances all our other relationships. Right now I'm reading a book called Why Good Things Happen to Good People instead of Why Bad Things Happen to Good People. And it's actually based, and in the next few sermons I'll be talking more about this, but it's based on this research by this guy, and he goes like, it's amazing when your life is a history of giving and, you know, connecting to our Heavenly Parent, connecting to this kind of perspective, guess what? You live longer, you are happier, you know, you have more energy, you know, good things happen to you. And so this whole book is about ways of giving, and he likens it to snowflakes. There are so many different designs of snowflakes, and if you live up in Alaska or with the Eskimos, they, you know, we have the word snow. Oh, it snowed today. No, they have words for it's light and fluffy snow, it's heavy snow, it's, you know, black snow, it's white snow. They have all these different words for snow because snow is so, you know, much a part of their lives. And so actually we need to find different words for giving or different ways of giving that we become familiar with, because giving should be so much part of our lives too. And in this book, Why Good Things Happen to Good People, it explains the benefits of giving. It says that if you give a lot in your life, and even if you start giving in high school, it makes a difference for your longevity. That you could increase your likelihood of living to a certain age by 44%. There's no other indicator except stopping smoking that does that for you. And I hope you don't smoke. So, you know, like, giving really works. And so it's so important to find a way to connect to God's perspective, God's heart. You may remember in the last couple of weeks we were talking about deep and wide, and the number 5 thing that God uses is pivotal circumstances. So sometimes situations can bring you closer to God, or they can drive you away from God. And it all depends upon your perspective. This is how you gain perspective. You gain perspective when you connect to God and you stop just seeing things as you choose to see them, or have seen them, or were taught to see them. And you ask, how does God see this? You know, what is it that God is seeing when he looks at this? I want to just read from a sermon that actually Father Moon gave a number of years ago. And it talks about the value of true love. And he says, although people speak of becoming holy and noble, everything good comes down to the achievement of true love. Once that happens, all the problems of the world are solved. Think about that. What if we saw as God saw us? Would we have the same heart or attitude toward people starving somewhere around the world? Would we have the same heart and attitude toward a co-worker or a friend or a brother or sister or a child? It's a rather dramatic declaration to say that the only thing we need is for men and women to achieve true love. Can this be more important than worship or religion? I want you to come to church next week, by the way. Don't just stay at home loving each other. Ask God whether this is correct or not. He would reply that he is ecstatic over such a declaration, and that no greater sermon could be given to you. I love Father Moon because he's always so, like, out of the box dramatic, because he's saying don't get kind of locked into ceremony, form, getting tied to religion in the intellectual sense of the word. But actually, what is the purpose of religion is to teach you how to love. So the reason I want you to come back next Sunday is that we all need inspiration. This is why we have the practice of reading and learning together every morning from the Bible and Pandoke and other scriptures. That's why we have that practice, because we want to spark our mind that we can get God's perspective, that we can find a deeper and more sincere way to extend love. Our ethic in the Unification Movement is the ethic of living for the sake of others. And Dr. Stephen Post, who is a researcher, said, "Giving is the most potent force on the planet. Giving is the one kind of love you can count on, because you can always choose it."